The wire's too weak, obviously.
There we go. Now we're streaming. Now we're live and
Oh no!
direct.
Don't say fuck or bugger.
Yeah, those sort of things. Let me just switch over to the Let's Go JoJo Show account. Or is it just called the Let's Go Show? I can't remember. No.
I honestly, I thought it was just Let's Go.
It's always Let's Go JoJo in there.
Yeah.
Our channel.
It'll be about Rohan, soon we get some more of those.
That's true. We got a few of those in the pipe.
Let me edit it so it doesn't say the same title as before. Edit video. That soft cough sounds softer. Speaking to Anthony for 2 hours yesterday may have, and coughing through the entire thing may have got some of the coughing out of my system. Having said that, I also slept for a very long time. Unfortunately, not uninterrupted, but.
Oh yeah.
But I did forget to take my baclofen beforehand, which meant I woke up incredibly achy. Yeah.
It's interrupted sleep is the fucking worst job because your body basically resets it. I haven't fucking slept a night where I haven't gotten up like twice in weeks, and it's really fucking with me. Dear.
I wonder if my fucking thing is compounding as well, because there are some days where I just have no fucking energy with this double jointed thing. So maybe
It could be. That's easily a thing to get into the joints.
maybe it's just like one of those. It's just kind of having one of those days, but it's been compounded by you're in a sort of night shift mode, and also you're just confined to your own home for 23 hours of the day, or whatever it is. Sorry, 23 and a half hours of the day.
Yeah.
I think it's all kind of rolling in on me all at once.
Yeah.
It's Monday.
But nonetheless, the show must go on, as I say.
Yes. Are you able to turn yourself up or get close to the microphone dial?
My level's been messed around. Let's see if that's happened. Had this used for so many video calls and such, and over the last week that it might have.
Oh, it could have been dicked with. Yeah.
Messed around with some of the properties on it. If it would actually load the settings menu so I could do that, that would be amazing.
And, okay, we're recording. My levels look fine. Dwayne sounds nice and clear. It's just you sound a lot softer and quieter than Dwayne.
I'll pull it to the max. Again,
That's just because I'm loud and abrasive. I think that's.
It could be energy.
Yes, it could be that.
Summon it from somewhere.
Well, I hope the compression does the job, and I'll press the energy button on Audacity. Okay, let me lift that up.
Man, that would be a great fucking feature if they could get it.
Yeah.
It's usually as in sound filter.
Increase.
Now I'm far too loud, so I'll sit this far back from the microphone, and I shall find the words that I say when we say these words. And I will also stick a link to this stream in Twitter, so the one person who might be interested can watch along.
I assume it's like when you stream it, it has a copy of it on.
Yes, and I can edit it as well. I can edit all this garbage out.
What? Why?
And just have the go straight into the introduction. But yeah, I noticed a lot more people live streaming because being stuck in their house. But also I noticed a lot of the professional podcasts where normally they're in the room together are really struggling with dealing over Skype or Zoom or whatever they're using.
It's a very different energy when you're in the same room.
Exactly.
If you're not used to it, like talking over Skype or whatever.
You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime. From hang on a second, hold on one cotton picking minute. Let me hit that other record button, just in case something goes wrong again. You are listening to Let's Go, the weekly anime podcast about weekly anime from Dynamite in the Brain and Secret of the Sailor Madness. So come along and hang with the Let's Go gang. It's Dwayne.
Hey!
It's Niall.
It is me.
Oh, you sound very quiet, Niall. And it's me, Brian. And on this episode, we are covering anime that aired the week of the 23rd of March, 2020 to the 29th of March, 2020. God, there's too many 20s in my... And also, my brain's now going, Brian, you're not coughing. What's wrong with you? I've been coughing constantly for 3 weeks.
It's not normal.
Up is down. Cats and dogs living together in perfect harmony.
And I'm sure I will be coughing later in the podcast. It's just, I was expecting as soon as my breath ended for me to start coughing. Because that has been the way it's been. So we're going to start off though with I haven't watched it. Niall tells me he's watched it though. Have you watched it, Dwayne? Beastars episode 1.
Yes, that is the only episode I've watched so far, and I have watched it in English and Japanese.
Oh,
for the crack.
Tell me all about this furry animation.
It's definitely a furry animation.
Yeah, I haven't.
We haven't nearly gotten to the horniness yet, as far as I understand it, though.
Yes, because I hadn't like delved into it a hell of a lot. I said this. I know this is coming down the line. People seem to enjoy the comic, get a lot of enjoyment out of that. So I'll wait till this actually arrives and to see what it's all about. I just didn't realize it's set for once in a high school. And it's much more
an
like
anime set in a high school.
Yeah. I thought it was just a different world. It's the world they have with animal people, but it's sort of centered around this school setting, and it's the tone of it is much more like this very kind of menacing, kind of sexually threatening, like teen high school drama, which is apt because it all centers around the theater or drama club
school
as well, and a murder that occurs within its ranks.
Yeah, so obviously, I think I'm just guessing off this. The themes are going to be going like how socially you're perceived and how you're kind of dealing with your own emotional states, which. I mean, like, it's a little different, like, horny teenagers are a slight difference from I am a wolf and I want to eat you kind of situations, yeah. But I get the kind of stand-in for it. It makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of about trying to suppress or manage these instincts or these impulsive desires you have, which is, these are teenagers, so they've got hormones running through them, but their hormones or impulses take the form of, depending on what animal they have, to bite into of another animal person and eat them alive, which happens to one of the members of the drama club, and it's this scandal that rocks the entire school, and a rift emerges immediately, and everyone suspects, he was fucking devoured, eaten alive, so it must be a carnivore did it.
The drama school was one of the few clubs that tended to have like both carnivores and herbivores in it. So they're kind of like it divides the class down. The carnivores don't like being like singled out as like, hey, I didn't fucking do it, kind of thing,
Yeah. So we're mostly following around a wolf called Lugosi, who is a wolf, and of course when this thing breaks, everyone is very wary of him.
Well, he does stand there creepily a lot.
Yeah. That's because he's a very shy and quiet dude. He likes to just kind of keep to the background, keep to the sidelines, because he seems to be aware of himself that I'm a giant wolf. I know
I'm
how
super intimidating.
So I'm just trying to sort of stay in the background, not just keep the head down, not getting upended by. But nonetheless, when I approach him in a very innocent and very poignant letter from the guy who got killed, can come across the wrong way.
Like, I did like that. He's basically staring down the other, I think she's also a sheep or something in the class, and she's like, oh my god, he's creeping after me, and she kind of pulls the scissors, like, I'm going to fucking stab you, don't come near me. And he's like, I have a love letter from you from the guy. He couldn't pluck up the courage to bring it. He was a friend of mine, and I'm kind of broke up about it, but I thought, I was like, I really need to finish this off for his memory kind of thing. And it's just like, oh, that's a really nice gesture for your friend who died. But, it's kind of like he's kind of creeping in the dark as a wolf after there's been a murder by a predator. So yeah, intentions don't really work out as well.
Yeah. On his side of it, we're also running in with Louis, Louis. No, it's just Louis, I think.
I think it's just
Who
Louis.
was, yeah, who was at the start of school. He's the star of the drama club. Everyone loves him. Everyone, if ladies want him, men want to be him. Um, and he's making kind of a push for power within the drama club. He's kind of running the show as he sees fit, deciding who gets to be playing what role and who gets resigned to this being the stage crew, even if they were formerly an actor. But he kind of takes a bit of a shine, if you want to call it that, to Lugosi as well. And thinking,
It seems like he
you're pretty
looks at this
reliable
guy as
fella.
like I know what I can get off of this guy. He will work for me and he will do what he's told, and that's actually really useful to me.
Yeah, and it makes an interesting dynamic then, because this carnivore herbivore rift, this sort of power dynamic, is obviously come to the fore with the recent murder. But we have this case where the Lugosi, who is a carnivore, he's very powerful and strong, but is much more kind of trying to much gentler and much kinder and much more reserved. And then you have Louis, then, who is kind of this kind of I don't know what you call it. Kind of like
he's a stag, so he's kind of like the big guy, and he's kind of like throwing his weight around and very much so like acting like he's in charge in all situations. You know, it just the that kind of stag thing. They're all playing into their roles, and it's not just like them playing into the animalistic roles, but the animals are also aware of it, because like a goat, he's trying to get a goat to read his lines. He's like, "Did you eat your fucking script, motherfucker?" Which I assume the goat actually didn't eat the script. The guy's just being super racist to the goat.
Yeah.
But everyone seems to be aware of these stereotypical animal things. So I don't know if animals exist in this world. It's a weird situation. I guess we'll find out eventually if there's like regular rabbits and humanoid rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other character we're following around then is Haru, who's a white rabbit, and she is getting picked on by the other kids at school for being perceived as being, you've got notions about yourself. You're trying to steal everybody's boyfriend. All these fun lads are after. Who do you think you are? You stuck up. You think you're all that?
It's very much the high school thing of the guys all like this girl, and therefore all the girls are acting like she's a slut and it's her fault, kind of thing, which is just really horrible. But yeah, you kind of get where it's going with the idea. She's a cute rabbit, and all the guys want to protect her, but to the other girls, they're kind of like, yeah, she's just trying to steal everyone's boyfriend and that kind of thing.
Yeah. What I like is she's actually quite cynical about the situation. It's like, she's appears a bit, it's a very cute rabbit. She's probably very, don't hurt me, very very coy and very shy and very meek. But she's actually quite cynical about the whole thing when the girl's trying to start shit with her and saying, maybe instead of wasting time with me, you should go back and talk to your ex about it, because he started this whole thing to begin with. It's just like, ooh.
He was the guy who was cheating on you, kind of thing. So you might want to reconsider that, which comes across as sass, which they don't take to either. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's, in her worldview, she's viewed as prey. For one, because she's a rabbit, she's an easy target for a carnivore, but also a prey because all these guys come along thinking, I gotta protect her, but I can mind myself. And you come along, this is starting more shit around me with these girls. I just wish everybody would realize that. But they cross paths then with Lugosi when he's standing guard outside of an after-hours rehearsal. Louis' behest, again, he's been strong-armed into it, but while Hal is walking home past the theatre, Lugosi gets this scent in the air, and he's just overcome by this irresistible urge to follow it and maybe take a bite of it or something like that. But to get to the thing, Haru just sees this 7-foot tall wolf man coming out of the fog with red glowing eyes, and like, oh my gosh, he's going to kill me, just like that guy who got killed a couple of days ago.
Yeah, and she's halfway between I still want to run and try and survive, but my life's really shit. I'm actually in a position where I wouldn't mind being eaten right now. Fuck everything, kind of thing.
I'm probably not going to make it out of this, and if so, well, that's just the way it goes. That's the way it is.
Yeah,
but we're kind of left lingering on that. And I suppose with the question then is this because of the tone of it, is it an attraction based on his carnivorous instincts, or is he confusing it with this more sexual or attraction or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's left a lot of
obviously
questions open, and kind of like it hasn't even said for sure that Lugosi wasn't the guy who killed his friend. That seems like it's still possible in the way it's presented, and I kind of like that. It's left a lot of things open for you to get more interest in.
And besides all of that, it's obviously very intriguing. I want to have a look at more of it now, but it looks very well, and that's to be expected because this is coming from Orange Studio, who we would have last encountered on this podcast anyway, via Land of the Lustrous, which was notable for being CG anime that actually made good on the promises and the capability of what you can achieve doing animation in that way.
The frame rate still kind of catches me now and again, but they're clearly showing off a lot of new tech that they've got. They've got a really nice kind of light feathering system on the edges of fur and wool and stuff in like the backlit and forelit some of the shots. They've got some really good water fucking physics going on, and they're like it's clear like they're showing off as like, hey, check out this new fucking toys we got. But it looks really good. It's very enjoyable to watch, and they clearly have worked from the comic a little, because they do some of the kind of cross scenes where you're seeing like two panels at once, because it's the best way to frame it. It's just like, yeah, we can't outdo the comic in the framing there, so we're just going to use that kind of framing.
Yeah, it's the execution that matters. You actually have some variety in the framing, variety in what they have in the shots. Also, just variety of looks as well. The initial scene of Fella Tem, he was the first victim of this, getting stalked around the theater, and do like some nice things where this is like his blue outline of his character that's moving in and out of the shadows.
Where he's all in darkness and you can just see the outline, not in black line for once, in the shadows. And I was like, oh, that's a really nice way to render that.
Yeah, and then seeing as well rendered this like strong blacks and whites and red and splashes of red in between. Really good stuff. Shinichi Matsumi is the main director on this, and he was an episode director on Land of the Lustrous. So I guess he's made good for the rest of the whole series. Also looking good was, I think a lot of people have been enjoying this as well as the actual intro to the opening credit sequence is done in the stop motion style.
Man, I love the CG and all, but if the whole show looked like that, goddamn.
It would be pretty good. It's a Cyclone graphics behind that, and just with the look of it and the very well done, very detailed models using that, it just comes across as it's like Fantastic Mr. Fox. We could get Wes Anderson doing some B-stars.
I guess they're dancing around as well. Yeah, I could see that. The gangly lens and the dancing. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. For me, at least, just for this initial little bit of it, it seems to be made good on the promise and anticipation of it. I was already going to check it out just based on the staff involved. I've enjoyed what they've done previously, but they've really elevated a lot of elements of their work and their ability from the last time we saw anything they worked on. And this is a pretty popular comic, which I'm hearing a lot about as well. So I'll be able to finally see what all the hubbub is about, and finally be able to get all the in-jokes I'm seeing in funny comics people draw about it on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Righty-ho. Moving on to Pet, the penultimate episode, 12, Carrier Pigeon. This is an episode of which about half of it is an email. And yet it's still amazing. I was partway through the email. I was like, how is this working? How are they doing this? How are they pulling it off?
And there's another good scene where the two of them are just talking in a room together, and it just keeps cutting to their inner thoughts of how they're reacting to what the other person has just said. And I was like, this should be super boring, but I'm enjoying it quite a lot.
Yeah, it's at the tipping point now, or a lot of plans are about to be either executed or uncovered or what.
Yeah.
Because there's a cat being thrown about pigeons, and now Satoru is wising up to things a lot sooner than Tsukasa anticipated. He has to change course rapidly, try and get his scheme to succeed.
Yeah, because it opens with where we left them off with Hiroki seemingly trapped by Satoru. But he manages to escape by basically tearing his image in half.
The way they describe it is like trying to like rip off your own arm to escape. So he's completely fucked from it. And when he was running in his memories, he went to one of his recent memories, which was getting into that apartment, so they know what apartment he is in.
Yeah.
So they can send in just some fucking goons with guns, really.
Yeah, and one goon with a syringe, being Katsuragi.
Yeah. Or Katsuragi.
Yeah, I wonder how. I was like, how's he coming out of this at the end of the next episode?
Probably without a job.
I mean, best case scenario without a job, but like worst case scenario, like super dead.
Well, he probably will still have a job, because I feel like the company is a big enough entity that it will probably be able to survive this little incident anyway. It sounds like, based on information we know already, and then we learn a little bit afterwards anyway, that they're probably just kind of done with this sort of psychic assassin thing anyway.
Let's just stick to the hypnotism and shooting people. It's a lot simpler, and you have to deal with less psychics.
They've got him holed up inside the whichever hotel floor I assume they've booked out at the moment. Katsuragi is very rude to Satoru, which makes him not want to have dinner with them. And also, he asks, "Where's Hayashi?" Oh, we sent him back to the hospital, so he's not distressed by the comings and goings around here. So, yeah, Satoru's going to go out and have dinner on his own. And Jin mentions, you shouldn't be so... You know why Katsuragi is so rude around you? It's because of your image. It's that door from the anime with the cat in it. He hates cats. And that's the final clue that Satoru did, to the point where I was like...
It was a thing he didn't know. I was like, I didn't know he didn't like cats.
Did she deliberately tell him that?
It feels like it. It's like, dude... let me just line up these fucking clues for you, man.
He's a little late to the party, but my God, thank God he's able to put it together at last.
Yeah, and Katsuragi comes back and says, Satoru, you idiot, you forgot the hotel room key. You wouldn't be able to get in here. I'll take it, we'll go back together and we'll have dinner in the hotel room.
And he has to insist, it's like, I'm not mad at Katsuragi anymore for being a dick all his life. Yes. Don't worry about it, it's fine.
And as they get to the door, he asks him if he knows, I can't remember the name, that...
Mr. Mataza.
Yes, which is the key word for accessing the carrier pigeons.
His fucking access code, where he kind of turns him and is like, do you know where he is? Because I got to give him something.
Yeah, well, it's Hayashi's go-to code word, so if anything was going to trigger the programming, then it would be that.
Yeah.
And that basically, he gets the USB, leaves, checks it out at a internet cafe, and gets all the information that he needs to start to realise the memory he was shown in the previous episode doesn't match up to the facts that Hayashi has given him. The only thing
that was the thing that was kind of bugging him. It was like, that didn't quite work out that way, and he'd have no reason for lying to me like that, because he's a piece of shit and he would have fucking said it if it was true.
I'm glad he said it out loud. That could this memory have been altered? It's like, yes, it could have. You were aware of this. You do this on the regular, man. So don't trust anything you see in anybody's mind.
But we learned Hayashi had another technique that the company don't know about hiding memories, and apparently he's done that to Katsuragi.
Where instead of editing a thing to be from A to B, like it's like, oh no, I've just hidden it underneath something else so that you can pull it out if needs be.
Yes,
much
I wonder
like I guess much like the programming work.
Yes, I wonder if that's all that needs to turn Katsuragi into a nice person. It's like
it's like he's actually not a piece of shit. Oh, it's all his programming making him just a massive jerk. It could
malfunctioning. Be, too many lines of code running it all at once.
Yeah, but we, the viewer, though, learned that Hayashi didn't know that Tsukasa is the one who had the idea for babies in the first place, though he suspects that he might do because he didn't come up with it, and somebody who has an image must, or who knows about locks, rather, who must...
The text document on the USB is just his letter, and also, here's how the company does this various things. It's actually useful information on it, but his text thing is like, hey, you got to find Tsukasa and escape with him, but I'm not 100% sure you can trust him. So you're going to have to give him a little test.
Yes.
See how he reacts to the usage of babies.
Yes, which gives us our final scene, which is him feeling him out, and Tsukasa thinking, "Oh, you think Long is the one responsible? That's even better than my original plan." And then thinking that he's got Satoru, and then Satoru reveals, like, "Oh no, Hayashi never stopped loving you. He wanted you to escape. Here's a plan of how we're all going to escape. We're going to bring Hiroki with us." And then that's like the guilt it crushes him, both from the like animation and the vocal performance.
It's so good, and the worst / best part of it is like when he's like revealed this. It's like, hey, everything you did is super fucked. The guy you crushed, he still loved you, so he wanted the best for you. So now let's escape now. And he's kind of like, I'm still working with the company though. Which is like, God damn it, dude! You've every reason to get out of this.
What do you think? Oh, too late now. I have burned down everything.
I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep. It's like you could change this at any stage, but you don't because you're a fucker.
Yeah, I think I think the thing is, even if he escaped, the guilt would still. He couldn't live with around Satoru because
he says himself, saying, "Where am I going to run to? Well, figure it out, man. No, Satoru. Where am I going to run to in my life? Everywhere I go, I keep running into shit. I can't get away from this."
A considerable portion of it is his own fucking fault, though. So, to be fair. God, he makes his own life difficult. Anyway.
And it ends with a gunshot, but we don't hear.
But never mind that shit. Long has come in with everybody else to try and figure out what all this noise is about.
Yes.
Hey, are you guys fucking talking late at night? He says he's in underpants with a gun behind his back. Yeah. Oh, dear.
Yeah, and that's where Tsukasa tells him he's trying to escape, and we hear a gunshot, but we don't see.
Cut the credits.
Who the blood that we see splatter comes from. Yeah, and I was like, I won't. I'll have to hold off. I'll have to resist watching the next episode straight away.
I know.
Yeah.
I think this might be my favourite of these twin engine shows that we've watched so far on Prime.
If not the best written, it's probably like the best directed and everything.
I mean, yes, because I guess Babylon's very well directed, but arguably the story goes in a crazy direction towards the end.
Sure, yeah.
Whereas this is crazy from the get out, and it just layers that on in very interesting ways.
And they do a lot of fun stuff with the crazy premise and everything. Yeah.
And crazy in also just a figurative sense, but also a literal sense. But a lot of these are very
the dreamscapes and everything.
Very mentally and emotionally damaged individuals.
Oh, they do get into why your one's the Mei-Ling's peak is completely fucked. Is because they tried to just see if she could crush some guy who was in the company, but he remembered a memory of him burning people alive. And that just infected her peak. And it's just like, oh no, it's just super fucked now. There's no fixing that. Which, that sucks.
Yeah.
I can see why he'd be against the idea of making babies in that case.
Yeah, for sure. They don't care. Just like,
that
the babies don't need to be an agent. Just kind of just like a gun that like a handler can just use to psychically just annihilate somebody. It doesn't need to have its own nuance or technique. It just need to aim it and fire it. That's all they want.
Like we've literally seen Jin use Mei-Ling as that on that boat, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's definitely what they want.
They also learn like why Tsukasa was taken away is because the president doesn't want too many of them living under the same roof, because that's what happened with the King Kong Masters. They became their own little clique. They tried to vie for power, and he's like, no, I gotta divvy them up. Yeah, and to be honest, he's not wrong, because that is clearly what's happened by keeping Tsukasa and Hiroki together.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
And possibly
having
a
group of two.
Yeah, and having them work with Satoru as well. It's like, it's who will get a happy ending next week? We'll have to find out, if anybody.
I feel like nobody except maybe the company president, because he's not even there.
Yeah. Katsuragi's just got to get out of here and help run that seaside bar with his best friend. Which he's psychically altered to that we know is his best friend, and finally he'll be free.
It's not the first time he has, but you know the like ending artwork. There was another Katsuragi one this week, and I was like, clearly he's other people's favorite character as well. Poor bastard.
He's so moe. They want to protect him.
Next, we've got Super Shiro, episode 24. Dekapu, aim to be world president. This is such a good episode. Well, it is supposedly sad, but
it gets better.
Yeah, it's the fact that
the joke is pretty good.
Yeah, the two jokes.
The tragedy.
I mean, the tragedy itself is a great joke. So half the episode.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Actually, how the tragedy is dealt with is pretty funny too.
When he was a pup,
we join as the plot is happening. We don't get the usual opening because it's like they have the bubble bone, they're fighting over it, and Dekapu gets it and runs away with it to his secret lair, I guess. Yeah.
Yes, yeah, he's got an underground headquarters, underground machine shop is what it appears to be.
No, it's a very, very normal dog who lives in a very, very normal vacant lot. Has a very, very normal underground supervillain base.
I mean, like, it's just built in under a pile of tires, so it's not that fancy. Yes. But yeah, still an underground super base.
And he thinks back to his master, who taught him the ways of being a hyper-intelligent dog. He was taken under the wing as a pup by this older dog who was studying an entrance exam to get into school, so he could get the education he needed to finish off his AI helmet, so that dogs and humans could live together at an equal level and would no longer have to listen to the orders of humans.
And presumably he didn't use the AI helmet. He was just a really fucking smart dog.
Yes.
Also, he's wearing like one of them, you know, those old man belt things.
Yes. Are they Obies?
Yeah, I can see
belly warmer.
Yeah. But I was kind of thinking, he's an old dog, but maybe he thought this through. He's an older dog, but he's the right age to be going to school, that kind of thing. Because if he's like, 13, I was like, oh, that's an old dog. He's probably.
But of course,
it's a very silly concept.
When he shows up in his school hat, the security guard at the school is obviously like, "You're a dog. You're not allowed in here."
And he presents him as like, but I have a ticket to attend the test, and he's like, "Yeah, but no dog. Get the fuck out of here."
We closed the Airbud loophole years ago.
They didn't say a dog couldn't. Oh, they do.
We do actually. Rules. Statute 10 passed in 1999 says this. Yeah.
Then the master disappears, and Dekapu wonders where he's got to, and then he gets a postcard from the master, who is now taking up surfing instead.
I'm going to be a surf dog in Hawaii. Aloha! I fucking love that joke. That was great.
Live your own life. Don't...
Yeah, live your best life. He's just like, fuck it. I can't go to college. I might as well party on.
College is bullshit. Actually, that's very well said. College isn't everything. If you can't
life
get
experience.
in, or for whatever reason you can't afford it, then that doesn't mean that life is closed off to you. You gotta let's explore the world and find out what way you want to live your own life. Maybe surfing is one way, or maybe you want to be a supervillain instead.
Or maybe you want to put an incomplete AI helmet on your head and then get hit by lightning.
Turning you evil? Or maybe that was part of the glitch of the AI helmet.
I don't know. I feel pretty wrong upon the human world is bullshit. Fucking dog can work and study for years and have a valid ticket. He got in the post and everything. And man says, no, you're a dog, you're not allowed. That's discrimination. I'm going to tear down this world. I'm going to be a world president and run it the way I see fit.
Well, yeah.
So really, he's a good guy here. He's trying to change society for the better.
Well, he wasn't thinking of becoming the world president
until Orla the Crow came along and said, "Hey, have you heard about the bubble bone?" And it's like, well, so he mightn't have even went for world domination straight away.
He didn't appear to be.
No, she was saying straight away after he got hit by lightning with the Pemont on. It is like his child dog voice going, "Oh, I'm going to be world president and run the world." But then the Crow says, "Oh, you get these bones, could probably fast track you all the way there."
I'm saying he might have done it through political means beforehand.
Yeah, the Crow tells him when he's older. So presumably he'd been plotting up to that point, and he was apparently digging the start of his base when the Crow came along. Anyway, as he's thinking back of this, Shiro sneaks in, steals the bone, and then just hear the explosion off.
Yeah, it wasn't the bone.
We wouldn't safe either way. Like even if he had won this week, it would have blown up in his face. But you never know.
Like, they say at the end of every episode, it's like he has saved the place all over. And it's like he hasn't really saved it because it wasn't the Boba Boba bone. It was just a nice smelling bone shaped thing.
I suppose he's saving the day in the sense that, well, if it's a real one, it won't be falling in the hands of evil or evil.
But it's always the fake one, so he's not saving the day.
Yeah, but he is safely detonating it away from public, so no one gets.
I guess that's true. Yeah. I really enjoyed Dekupu's like kid voice. I assume that was an actual kid.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, it must be.
It sounded like it's just that they're just making dog noises for most of the episode, which is pretty cute.
But it lent a lot to the poignancy. Then it's like, oh, his puppy dog making little like going wah noises, and then oh no, he's so sad that his mentor, his master, has been denied his place in the world he struggled and fought so hard for.
Okay, well, we'll leave it for another week. Next week, it's something involving bees.
The sweet life of honeybees.
Spring is here.
Then we got My Hero Academia, episode 87. Japanese hero billboard chart, in which we get to meet a whole bunch of heroes, some we know before, some we've never seen before.
It's nice to get a call back in on the Wild Wild Pussycats. I enjoyed that bit.
Oh yes, because they're the visitors. Oh yeah, Eri's staying at the school now because her horn's beginning to grow, so they need to raise a head there to switch her power off if it becomes too uncontrollable for her.
And then they probably need to teach her how to use it.
Yes.
This is like one of the best schools for powers in the world.
You can't be getting called out across town between every class to go and take care of this, so you may as well just have her on campus. But also, the kids seem to like her, so it'd probably be good for her outlook in life if we kept her around.
Exactly. It'll be good for the kid and be good for everyone else, despite the fact that she is dangerous, but like that's not her fault. Can't really treat her as such.
And then the Pussycats show up. That's the visitors.
Yeah, and they're gonna go. They're rebranding a little. One of them's getting a new job and is entirely happy with that, which is fucking great. Ragdoll's just gonna do the secretary work, and that's okay. But it's because they went down considerably in the rankings, but they're still in the rankings despite not having worked in ages because of popularity. Because everyone likes them. Why wouldn't you like them? They're great.
And we also learned that All for One offered to give her power back. If only they'd let him out.
Just let me out to use the powers. I could probably give it back. And they're all like, "Yeah, we're not doing that."
And which then is our nice lead into the TV show where they're showing the charts. So who's I can't remember who's on the charts. We get. Who gets lots
Dragon
of...
Hero UQ has moved got knocked on number 10, so
yeah, my brain just goes straight to Wash all the time because he's a washing machine. He just says wash all the
time. Number 9 is a big dude in armor.
Yeah, he's like a Kabuto looking motherfucker. Yeah, Dragon Lady is super like humble and just like fucking I'll try and earn the right to be in the top 10, you know, that kind of thing. She feels like she hadn't done enough. Because that last job went pretty fucking south, even though it was a success. Your man seems just more like, I'm a cool old dude, kind of jazz. And then I think it was a lot of new people going up, wasn't it?
There's Crust, who's number 6, who seems like he's the one who's annoyed that he wasn't there to help All Might, because he seems like a massive All Might fan.
He seems like a fan of everyone. He couldn't help but burst out before it was his turn to talk as well.
It's Burko at 5.
Cameron Woods got in, didn't he?
He did, yes.
Yeah, and he
said, fucking Mount Lady is just like, no, can you go with me, Mount Lady? Oh, it's very nice that a member of our group has been nominated. He's representing all of us out there. He's doing great work up there. And, okay, very good. Thanks very much for that. Yeah, thanks very much. Why wasn't it me?
Rabbit Hero Mirko is at number 5. Ninja
Hero Mirko.
I feel like I'm gonna like her.
It'll be a while before you see her at her full pomp.
Yeah. I'll probably have to catch up in the comics for that purpose. Yeah.
Ninja Hero Edgeshot hits at who she takes a dig at, like, here you formed a team now.
Like a wuss.
Yeah. which that does play into how we see her in action later on. Number 3 is Best Jeanist, who is unable to attend. And number 2 is the winged hero Hawks, who also has a dig at when they're going through and everyone's talking about what it means to be a hero, and Edshot's like, because they're talking about the who's higher in the public acclaim.
Because it's the amount
rankings.
Of saves that you do. It's the public rankings, the public vote. And is there a third thing that determines your rank?
I can't recall. I know but the gist
it's
is
basically like actual statistics of you saving people, actual like jobs that you've done, and like the popularity poll gets you up pretty high.
Yeah,
as well.
because Edshot's like, popularity means nothing to me. I'm just interested in justice, and Hawks is like, did you hear that stain? I was like.
Well, he's like trying to get him to stop dancing around the fact. Yeah, like we have a big hole in our roster here, like a big figure has been removed like from the picture here, and it's not enough to pull in the strongest guy as number 1. He needs to actually represent something, like an ideal that people can latch onto. And that's what we need to try and get people to believe and trust in human society to their utmost. Like I said before these recent incidents have kind of cast doubt and maybe a little bit of criticism of how things are operating currently.
And so number 1's Endeavour, and he does this speech about how the public confidence is probably more important than what you actually achieve as a hero at this point. And it's like, our number 1 hero is only number 4 in the opinion polls. And how does Endeavour, what's his thing? Because he's trying to get him to do the thing he does, and I can't remember what Endeavour ends up saying. Oh, just watch him.
Just watch me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which he clapped. He's the only one who claps to that. Kind of like, that's what I want to hear.
And Endeavour like gets mad at Hawks, but Hawks like calms him down and like explains what he was trying to do.
I want you to be that symbol of justice and everything like that. And speaking of which, team up. Let's
have a team.
I got a job for you.
Take a walk with me. I'm doing the rounds around town. Just like, hi everybody, hope, lovely baby. If only a little bit of that, I'll take out these guys and these villains on the side with some well-placed feather darts, and he's just not missing the beat. So anyway, I was trying to say to you, he's just really going around town being very easy with everybody, and just like fighting crime very nonchalantly.
I can see what your man was saying is like, I was in with Hawks as an intern, but it was too quick for me. I really couldn't follow anything, and I was like, because he's solving crime as he's walking by.
There's a guy who tries to use his quirk shame after being riled up by reading a reprint of Destro's autobiography. Then they stop off at a restaurant, and they're discussing Nomus about various sightings about are they really there, or is somebody spreading rumours to make them think that they're still there?
Dad was kind of like, have you got any proof? And he's like, no, I got no proof, just rumors. He's like, I'm fucking going home then. He's like, no, you don't get it. Like this, the fact that they're spreading rumors as far as places why would you even have no one who's there? It means that the people are scared enough. And like, I'm trying to get a read of the public. And you can see him like in the earlier scenes where he's going out and he's signing autographs. And Deborah's like, I will also sign an autograph.
No, man, that's not your kind of character. You're supposed to be the very strong, kind of intimidating types. When you try and act friendly, it's really weird, and people don't like it.
The one kid who did like him was like, no, you don't sign autographs, because it's kind of like, no, you're cool and mean. You can't give me an autograph.
Yeah, listen to Natsu from Fairy Tail, who that guy clearly was.
We get Hawks proclamation that what he's fighting for is a world where heroes don't have to try so hard.
He's fighting for the golden
time
age,
on their hands.
basically,
too
of
much
comics,
time,
where Superman just had to deal with his girlfriend and his little friend, Jimmy Olsen. That's the world Hawks wants. I just want to be number 2. I don't I don't want the pressure at number one. I'd happily be number 4 or 15. I don't give a fuck.
And the waitress comes in, and they see something approaching the building, and Hawks protects her, and then Nomu smashes into the building.
A high-end Nomu, no doubt.
Indeed.
Flight does seem to be like a very limited power in this world, and the fact that this thing flew in is probably a problem. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you gotta be able to harvest guys able to fly, and Hawks seems like a pretty careful dude if he's number 2. Probably isn't getting his DNA harvested too often.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Endeavor's got a new costume now. I can't remember whether this was a change in the comic. I saw some people pointing it out, and they're definitely right that they're animating they're drawing his face differently now in the anime.
In what way are they? What way?
Well, I can't remember whether it was changed in the comic before it was changed in the anime. But in the anime, he used to have like a much more blockier face, but now it's like a descending triangle.
It's a little softer.
Yes,
that's what I thought they did as well. I thought there might be an optical illusion from the huge shoulder pads that he has, but okay.
Yeah, when you saw him like the rest of the time, even if you call up the memory in your mind of, let's say, back in Soul Festival, when he was kind of being very gloating about, oh, my son is so powerful. If you seem to be, his face is always like locked in a permanent scowl, or if it was going to change at all, it would be this like grimace. Usually he's about to kill somebody, kill a monster anyway. But now it's like this would be some things he's trying to, as you see, try to be a bit more approachable to the public. So he's trying to soften his image, and also he's dealing with at the same time what's going on with his family. He's trying to be more approachable and trying to connect with his children as well. So that's feeding into it as well. There's a lot bubbling under the surface there. He's not saying too much about it right now, but you can tell he's mulling over a lot.
So is there one more episode or 2 more episodes?
At least, let's see, that was number 20. Yeah. 87, so let's see, but probably just one.
Okay, because it feels like, because I was like, I'm sure the ensuing fight is very long in the comic, because it felt like for a while. Oh, is Endeavor the main character now?
Let's see. It's obviously 7, which we made
so
that.
It's chapter 190 is where it ends, and so it's going to be, if the entire thing's in the next episode, it will be 5 chapters worth.
Yeah, I don't recall it being too long, but I was blitzing through it at that stage, and I was reading the comic.
Yeah.
So my experience may not be representative of the reality.
Yeah, I think they did about. Let me see. They did that chapter. That one. They did 3 chapters in this episode.
They could do it. They could finish it, but next one, I'd say.
Okay, yeah. If
it's all another season on the way, so
if it's all fighting, you could probably get it in one episode. But I wasn't sure whether it was or it wasn't. We shall see. I do like the next fight a lot. It's very this Nobu's very Venom-y.
Whoopsie.
But yeah, it's like everyone's talking about. Here's Hawks. Get used to Hawks, because he's going to be around for a while. But yeah, it's there was a few things in this where I was like, oh, that's kind of making me think about. Oh yeah, it's the thing about him, the relationship between Endeavor and Hawks. I've forgotten the line now, but there was a line in there which did have a resonance with the latest chapter, particularly the end of the latest chapter, where I think there's something deeper going on with the Hawks and Endeavor relationship than appears at first glance, particularly from Hawks' viewpoint rather than Endeavor's, because hey, Endeavour doesn't remember his own children, let alone
He's a big dummy.
children he may have only met in passing.
From what little I've seen of Hawks now, it does seem like he has a lot going on where he's like, hey, I don't want the pressure of number one. But it seems like you're really on the ball and you've been actively investigating things and like trying to get a feel for the land and see how the public is swaying. And it's like, no, he's putting the fucking work in, seemingly.
He's the kind of character who's hiding behind a smile. When his philosophy is summed up so succinctly and neatly. I just want a world where heroes have too much time in their hands and they can kind of just take it easy a little bit.
Yeah.
There is something a lot deeper that later in tomorrow's said. Like, it couldn't be as neat as that. Maybe like when you know the full scope of it, that's what keeps something that way. But it's definitely there's a much more compelling, probably harrowing background to why he feels that way.
Yeah. Also, I mean, there's a little clue in the ending credits by the fact that all these other people, even the villains' photos of them as children, are like hanging around with other children, whereas Hawks as a child is being trained by Men in Black. So
because he says, he's burst onto the scene, he formed his own company. He was 18 years old. He was already in the top 10 by age 20. He's like, that sounds like a guy who was not just a go-getter. It's not just someone who was just been pressured from as soon as they were able to walk to fill this role. And maybe just the way he acts around his way of waiting against it is just like, I'm trying to be nonchalant about it because I don't want it to be a big deal because this thing has dominated my life and it shouldn't define me.
Yeah.
To be seen as somebody else, not just a number whatever hero.
It's kind of a reverse, not a one for one, but a close reversal of I keep forgetting his non-hero name, Lemillion, who's obviously his power was kind of like, it's good, but the way he uses it is like not very good, but he actually worked to make it good. And I did like them giving him like a little bit in this where it's kind of like, no, he's still going to be around. He's still going to be around being a weirdo and being just super nice. That's great.
It's the best genius bit. That was actually the thing I was thinking of. That I was like, I'd forgotten that he's not there, and I was like, yeah, okay, right. I wonder if he's not there for a reason, which will not entirely clear in the comic yet. But
I thought he was still just messed up by All for One.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, that'll have to wait till you've read the comic, Dwayne, or we get to the bit in the when he next appears in the anime. But yeah, next week or the week after, depending on how many episodes this is, we can come back to Hawks again and see exactly. Go back and look at what he was saying in this episode in the light of things we'll learn shortly.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking, this is one of these cases where seeing the material a second time after reading the comic, I'm now going, okay, yes, there's things here that I was just glossing over because they didn't seem important at the time. But maybe
that's always great though when on a reread, like context fucking changes. Yeah.
Well, we've seen it recently where it must be planned to some degree where. Whatever they're animating, if the comic's still ongoing, it'll have to have something in there to remind you of the older thing. So, like we saw with Dr. Stone, he was a character as we're coming back to again in the comic. Here's where they've introduced, we're getting to the episode in the anime as running around the same time. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this character, their background, their motivation, and how they got onto the team, whatever like that. And now we're seeing them again for the first time in maybe a couple of months, if not years, in the comic.
Yeah, or when we see like Leftovers Town in One Piece, and then kind of we know what that means now.
Yeah.
Now with Dr. Stone though, you can go back and watch or reread the chapters and have a specific drink to read as those characters are introduced, because this week's chapter was just a list of cocktails being made to reflect the personalities of various characters in the series.
Why are they trying to make kids commit so many crimes in this comic? I don't understand.
They're all virgin
cocktails.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
Yes.
I thought it was like fucking hard liquor.
It's addressed immediately by Suika. She's like, I'd love her to have a cocktail named after me, but I can't drink alcohol. And
that's okay.
Ginro is complaining all the way through that none of these have alcohol in them.
You may have heard of a Shirley Temple. How about the Suika? Who is Shirley Temple? Ah, okay. Well, sorry, the joke won't work on you, caveman, the year 5000.
Yeah, that was a crazy great chapter. I'm sure
They
there
had
was...
a contact consultant alongside a science consultant, so they had everything to be accurate.
Well, I mean, like, technically a chemist, right?
Yeah.
Oh, there was contact consultants, so they had, like, there's an actual bartender in there, bartending experience, because to kind of see if all is accurate, because someone
I
makes a
assume
remark.
most chemists have mixed drinks at some
Yeah.
stage, just to see if they can make a good alcohol, at the very least.
You see,
Well, a character may say no enough. Like the thing with the shaker, when they're kind of doing all the moves of the shaker, no, is it just like, does that affect the quality of the drink? No, that's just for the public. This looks cool.
yeah, I was
If
about
you
to say,
leave-
it's very important later on in the story that they unstone a butler. But I realised, oh, not only is she a butler, she's the world's greatest butler. So essentially, they've resurrected Jeeves. It's like, and then it makes so much
okay.
more sense, particularly of doing all the drinks, just knowing everything. Yeah, she's like another genius. Got to keep on releasing those geniuses.
Anyways, read comics. They're great.
Yes, read the comics; they're great. She'll be showing up probably in the third season. Next up, we've got Case Closed, episode 974, MPD Transportation Department, Part 4. This is a case where I wish I could read the comic after how this episode ends. So, we've got a clue. The no parking sign. What can it mean? Well, Conan figures it out pretty quickly. We've got the list of
Well, he figured it out last episode, he just didn't tell us.
Yeah, he just didn't tell us, yes. So, it's a pun. It's like... So one of the...
I fucking knew it was a pun, but it was a pun on two languages, one of which I don't speak.
Yes. Yes, it's Alno is the suspect. It's blue from the sign plus no from the sign.
Of course.
Yes, and the number is the specific part of the traffic code that was the crime.
I feel like that would have been a more obvious clue if, like, it's just like, oh, a traffic cop died and she typed in this thing. What could it mean?
But it's the fact that a small child knows
Knows that specific
the law
fucking,
in
yeah.
and out. Yes.
I liked it when the detective goes like, what? I mean, like, if in your dying moments, why would you point to like a fucking pun to reveal your killer? And Conan was like, no, it's actually quite sensible because it's only like traffic cops could figure it out, and other traffic cops would be looking into the death of their traffic cop friends, so they'd figure it out. And that's what got another one of them killed. So good job.
Yeah.
Fun, lads.
Then they figure out that they show the phone number to I can't remember her name, the lady detective, and they discover that's Mike's phone number. So then they're like wondering. They find they get the connection with the suicide and the suspect. It was his girlfriend. Then they've learned what his job is. He basically renovates buildings. And
the suicide was his girlfriend.
Yes, power harassment.
She was getting harassed or something. Yeah. And she killed herself, and the traffic cops prevented him from going back to meet her before she killed herself. So, damn them! Revenge on traffic cops forever.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, what buildings around here need renovation? Oh, there's so many. What was that tapping noise? They say it out loud, and they're like, that seems familiar. And they go, twinkle, twinkle, little star. It must be the planetarium. To the planetarium. Thinks, how can we get the drop on this guy? I know, I'll get this 8-year-old child I brought with me, whoever he's supposed to be, to sing Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star in the creepiest manner possible.
Oh, I mean, it's a little child singing "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" in an abandoned planetarium in the dark. So it's just like, yeah, this is gonna suck. But to be fair, he has worked with the cops before. Much and all of that's slightly child endangerment. Yeah,
this is how you do crimes. I saw it in a movie once.
But yeah, I do like it when the anime plays up how sinister Conan can be as a being of like this hyper intelligent. Incredibly brave child. they take him down. He almost walks into. Oh, but then we spouse after we get the discussion of like he's like explaining. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know you're mad.
It's weird that happened after the discussion, but I guess they needed it like in terms of dramatic stuff. But yeah,
it had to be because it had to. It's the thing of you weren't thinking straight because.
It was actually a terrible misunderstanding all along.
It's a Conan story, yes. Yeah, the murderers have to have a reason.
Man's like, hey, the fucking cops kept me from going back to get my girlfriend. And he's like, we were trying to call you on your phone. Did you not fucking respond? He's like, I've left my phone off since my girlfriend died because the screen, it will never have her. It has memories of her in it, and I can never call her on my phone ever again. So I've left it off all this time. And the dude's like, dude, you never got her last message that she sent you in your voicemail. Check your voicemail. I'll check your voicemail. I've already arrested you.
But
that's just change your wallpaper on your phone screen.
But that's also
show you how.
That's also his evidence for saying you weren't thinking that they were holding you because you weren't behaving rationally. So even if they weren't trying to arrange karaoke,
saying, thanks for everything, goodbye, and then you hear like people scream, and it's like, oh my god, someone jumped. So it's kind of like she was gonna kill herself regardless of what you did.
But his thing was, I know you. He's like, how do you know I wasn't behaving rationally? You weren't there. It's like, well, it's because of you didn't check the phone after you got the text message. It's if he's like he says like if somebody I loved was in danger, I wouldn't be behaving rationally either, and that's evidence that you weren't behaving rationally because you hadn't. And the
reason the traffic cops were talking on the phone about karaoke and shit and keeping you longer is because you weren't behaving normally, and they're just like, "Can we leave this guy behind the fucking wheel of a car?" They have to like draw out the time of the arrest or the ticket in order to get you to calm the fuck down and before you go back on the road and run someone over. They're doing their job.
But that's to reflect in Chiba's behaviour of behaving super rationally when the woman that his childhood friend is in danger and just doesn't recognize her, and then her behaving irrationally to take the crossbow bolt that he accidentally set the trap off of.
So I'm guessing your man wanted the was it Mika to come rescue her, but
Yumi to come rescue Mika. Yes,
Yumi, sorry,
because that's the final punchline. Is while this is all being happening, Yumi has been fast asleep, ignoring her phone calls.
Oh god.
Yeah. That's a pretty good joke.
Yes. So this is what he's carrying her back and is like hospital.
The other cops arrive and he's like, "Hey, I've already like handcuffed the suspect." Conan's looking at him, so just bring the kid home. I guess at the end, I gotta bring her to the hospital because she got like scratched in the leg by that crossbow bolt.
And he gets to a crossing and it's saying red, and he looks at her leg, it's bleeding. And he's like, "There's nobody around. There's no traffic around." He takes one step forward and then she basically tells him off, and that's the thing.
She tells him the exact same speech that he told her as a child.
Yes, and then he has a flashback to her telling him off as a child, and finally the connection is made. It's like, "Were you my best friend when I was a child?" She's like, "Yeah," and then she says something else that she'd said as a child, and hugs him a little tighter. And that's your happy ending, and you're left wondering, like, okay, how does this tie into where we'd left the previous canon arc? Well, after the credits roll, we have Amaru on the phone to somebody explaining that, yes, he'd fed Conan the clues that needed to be fed to him so that he could solve this crime. And then we see who he's on the phone to, and it is... I can't remember his name now.
Police. He's not a police chief. He's a police captain or something.
Yeah, he's an important big. He's the guy with the one eye and the
cool scars,
the cool character design. And he basically says, "Very well done, Bourbon." And so you're like, "Oh, does that mean he's Rum? He's one of the suspects for Rum, but he's calling
because he knows this fucker's code name." So,
but also
weird enough, it could be.
Yeah. So I was like, "Oh." And then immediately I was like, no, it might be a red herring because he may know his code name because he's his superior on the undercover mission.
Yeah. There's multiple reasons for him to know it and for him to refer to him by that name because they're talking over a phone. You want to use code names, that kind of thing. Yeah.
And I was like, oh, man, it doesn't solve anything, but it...
It doesn't, but it makes you go, oh, but...
There's a little morsel to try to tide you over until you get something you can get your teeth into.
A completely non-satisfying morsel because you know it doesn't fucking tell you the whole meal.
Because you get that immediate hit of like, it's solved, and then you go like, Oh no, it's not solved.
Nothing solved.
You get
But it
thirsty
doesn't
man in
remember
the
what it's
desert.
doing.
You'll take anything you can get, though.
Yeah.
I did
It's
like
good to know
his.
it's still on ball.
I did like him referring to Conan as, it's sleeping Kogoro's advisor. So he's like clearly knows what's going on there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that child who drugs that detective and then pretends to be him.
It's the guy who's after my job, it seems. One kid got notions about himself.
I believe he'd also done this in Zero the Enforcer, the non-canon film. So I think maybe it's there. It's more clear that Amaru is under this guy in terms of the operation. But at the same time, it's like, there's like a thing of like, it's like a question. Yeah, I still think it might be him as well. I think there's like enough other evidence. If I have to go back and watch that other arc of like the instructions to go and investigate the Shinichi Kudo family. I guess that doesn't necessarily mean there's anything to do with Conan though, because they still don't know that they are one and the same, despite his slip up. They've just that was like the thing which like may have given them a clue that they are the same, but then they went out of their way to cover that up, didn't they? We shall see in another 3 months when they do another canon story.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I did enjoy this a lot, and then that thing after the credits was like the cherry on the cake.
Fucking tease is what it was.
It was, but so wonderful. Then we've got, let me get the right window open. It is Inspector, episode 12, She Who Defends Order.
It's a kind of a little wrap up, and maybe foreshadowing of things to come if they make any more of this, which they could do other books.
The other thing was like it changes the context of the relationship again, where they're going over the reason why your man calls her by her surname rather than her name, which is like you call your girlfriend by her given name, right? And she doesn't like her given name because she thinks it's hard to pronounce, so it sounds weird when people say it. She doesn't like it, but they totally are boyfriend and girlfriend. All of your man's acting like he really hates her and doesn't want to be around her. It was just like kind of protecting. He didn't try to go off and meet his old love, his cousin. It was like, oh fuck, my cousin's really dangerous. I better go there and take care of it so my girlfriend doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah.
So he was trying to take care of it for her, rather than that kind of thing.
Yeah, he's of the well. I'm immortal, so if I get in trouble, I can lose my life again. So
yeah, worst case scenario, I'll be fine. Like, yeah.
But she is very determined and very courageous to point sometimes of recklessness. So she might be able to get into a lot of danger situations without me being there. So I'm trying to head this one off before she gets pulled into it as well.
And he's having the conversation with the ex-cop because she sleeps for like 28 hours because she's so tired from being on the forums all night.
Well, it's like, just cranking out this
crazy scenarios,
fiction on the fly and on internet forums was hard going. To which they get an email from Rika at the conclusion of that saying, "Oh, I concede, you win this time, Imanaga and Kuro. Sincerely, Rika." And said, she said you won this time, so she'll be back.
She's going to try it again. So yeah, the basic thing we get for her is the reason she's trying to make a monster of the imagination is because like if enough people believe it, you can make a yokai or like any kind of weird, crazy, magical creature. And if you work really fucking hard at it, maybe you could make a god. And if you can make a god, maybe she can make something to kill herself because at the moment she's immortal. Yeah.
You could just get everybody to believe in, I don't know, that the genie from Aladdin is actually real. Wasn't Robin Williams playing a cartoon that was actually like an actual genie came above a lamp in the film that got in there. So if everybody believed that was real, you could have it come to life and you can make grant wishes, do anything you want, such as finally let me be free from this curse.
Yeah, because much like her cousin, she was tortured constantly as a child, and she's like, I want to be out of this fucking scenario. So it's like, it's doing it for selfish reasons. I know that like at least one fucking person got killed on the way to it, so you can't exactly let her off doing it. So they do have to hunt her down. But anyway, your man's talking to his cop friend or cop ex-girlfriend about this. And you kind of get a like where he's like, no, I absolutely do love my tiny weird fucking weird story making girlfriend, and it's kind of like it wasn't going to work between us anyway, as you know. And Ewan's like, yeah, you're still kind of grossing me out, and I'm still freaked out by all these monsters constantly. Fortunately, one did say it like to the yokai and stuff. It's like, hey, don't appear in front of her. It really freaks her out. So she can't like she understands his thing. She appreciates his ability. She appreciates that there's someone out there protecting the regular guys and keeping the order and stuff in the world. But it's just like, yeah, it's fucking beyond me, and it creeps me the fuck out. So she can't be involved with it, nor could she be involved with her ex-boyfriend.
Got a free bike out of it though.
Yeah, that wasn't a rental. She bought a bike to go around town, and it's like, yeah, you won't ask me to give you the bike, so I give you it. And he meets her up later in the hotel room, and where she's kind of like, oh my god, I've been sleeping for like over a day. I've given them so much time to talk together. Oh, they're gonna get close and squishy, and it's like, dude, you're grand. She's just really super clingy, I guess. Is the main problem.
The remainder of it is more so just them being very cute. But say, oh yeah, they are in love, even though they seem like a very odd couple, but they are. She's constantly trying to. Oh, you've been playing away with her. No, we have not. I had her number because we needed it for the fucking purposes of this.
Like, I deleted her number out of my phone again. Don't get fucking crazy jealous. Like, it's basically she's really clingy and keeps making like sex jokes at him in public, and he's like, don't do that. No,
that was kind of funny, you know.
It was funny, but I can imagine the cringe of someone doing that to you in public, where she's giving him like, get your strength up, eat this banana, and you can give me your banana later, and he's just like, dude, that's fucking no, don't.
Some of that.
She's so horny. It's really funny.
I'm gonna wait, like I'm completely torn up here. Like, you know, he just comes as if he's been through the wars. His clothes are in bits. He's immortal, but man, he's had a long night of this.
Like he wants a very simple life for a guy who's like immortal and shit. When she jumps on him when she gets out of the shower, he's like, dude, I only bought like one clean shirt because my other shirt got ripped up in that crazy fight, and now it's great. Now it's all wet. I'm gonna need to get another stupid shirt.
And now I want to have sex with me as well. Oh gosh, yes.
So it's kind of like a nice goal. They get like a moment where they're playing with like puns of her name and how it's proof that he really loves her. And she's like, yeah, but I mean, like, you're just making that story to work in your favor. The actual reason is because that princess was ugly is why she was sent home. And she's like, yeah, but you're like a beautiful flower. And she's like, yeah, it's not about outward appearances, you fucker. But it's clear that they're close, and they're just kind of like, this is how they work. They kind of jibe with each other and argue constantly, but it works for them. So it's a nice kind of character play between them at the end.
Yeah,
that shows how truly the relationship works, I suppose.
Yeah, I think as well it reiterates why we've kind of stuck with this at the end, even though it was the bulk of the series was all about one like yokai mystery case.
One yokai mystery case, mostly solved online. Yeah,
and 3 of those were in the back of a car, on a laptop. And thinking, why was this to the end? It's because, well, we just like the characters. They're very appealing, you know, and they're just easy to just live off and do their thing, and you really gravitate towards them, get an affection for them, and that's what carried it all the way through.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's an interesting premise, well written, and some cool ideas, but the characters are kind of helping get you attached and help you kind of keep on through, like you said.
Yeah, if you're going to have kind of deducting and like analyzing like the nature of fiction and lies and mystery writing, then these are some of the best guys you can get to do it, because they're very, very nice. And also the little small factors, like despite quote unquote being the yokai's like benevolent god of wisdom, she's such a little bastard. She's such a little bastard.
She's very much out for herself and her own like stuff, and like basically most of her job, instead of like actually solving crimes, is coming up with a lie convincing enough that I don't need to fucking solve the crime, which is funnier somehow.
Well, it's a god of wisdom. It works not like a god of all truth, knowledge. What would be the best explanation for it? So what's the most rational explanation for it? And that's, again, ties into a lot of things, a lot of approaches and philosophies around mystery writing and mystery solving.
Yeah.
If they make more, I welcome it. It wouldn't be bad.
Righty-ho, now it's time for my Toei Tokusatsu rundown. Kira Major, Episode 4, Princess of Nowhere. opens with them having already defeated the mask of the episode. We don't even get to see, but it does set up a great bit of comedy where Green and Yellow are arguing about what the mask was called. They refer to him as Neanderthal Mask, and Yellow's like, no, he should be called Neanderthal Man Mask, because Neanderthal was simply the area where they found the Neanderthal Man.
Oh, being very technical. Okay.
Yeah.
Technically, it's Frankenstein's monster's mask.
Yeah.
So shut up. This is
Doesn't
why
sound as good.
this is why I don't invite you around for the Sentai pub quiz night. You're always like this.
And this makes our Crystal Princess laugh, and they note that when she laughs, there's like a ringing bell noise, and she explains the physiognomy which causes this to happen. This is an important clue to something later on in the episode, because then a giant black crystal appears. They go to investigate. It turns into a train with like a dinosaur's head. They chase it around. They manage to get it to stop, and out of it comes Garza, the brother of the king who murdered the king. But he's like, "No, princess, your father's alive. I was mind controlled." And they tries to get her to meet at a certain place and bring a crystal with her. They're all very suspicious. Well, at first some of them are like, okay, but here Juru is suspicious because he's got this drawing of this guy who just stepped out of this train, which he drew after having a dream of this guy killing the king and then laughing, and and when he was laughing, he made that jingling sort of noise. So when this guy says that he was mind controlled and had no emotions, he's lying. But they can't stop her from going because Neanderthal Mask had managed to get enough energy to let in Paolith Basara, a giant monster. So they have to go run off and fight the giant monster. Meanwhile, while they fight the giant monster, she brings the crystal to her uncle, and she's about to hand it over when Juru shows up, and he's like, "How did you get here?" And he's like, "It's because we've got El Geminis, so there's a copy of me piloting the giant robot back there." Manages to stay back, princess, and explains what I just explained about why he was lying. They get into a really great sword fight. This was the point at which I realised Koichi Sakamoto was directing, because suddenly we got Dutch angles again. But even for him, it's a really great sword fight. There's some really good camera work that I hadn't seen before. Tremendous. It's well worth watching the episode just for the sword fight. But then he gets in his train and transforms, because the giant robot shows up because they managed to defeat the monster. He gets in his train and transforms that into a giant Tyrannosaurus Rex with claws, teeth, and a chainsaw tail.
Cool.
They kind of fight to a draw, and he withdraws for today, and they're like, okay, we've got our friends, we've got to trust them, and we've got to deal with Garza again next week, or whoever it is next week. I think it's another mask guy next week, because there's a whole list of masks on the Kira Major wiki, so they must have been announced. Yeah, I think, what does it say next week? It is Joystick Mask. So I believe it is the turn of the yellow Kira Major to be focused on.
And his digger.
And his digger, yes. It's called Exceeded by Shovelot, which is the name of the digger. Meanwhile, in Kamen Rider 01, episode 29, it's all going off. Our dreams won't be broken, but Guy Thales has a pretty good go at breaking them, as the election ends up, there's a 65% turnout for the referendum on whether to make a Humagear city, and it is won 62% to 3% by the no, let's not have a city full of Humagears. So the control of Haydn is lost to Zaya, and Aruto's out in his ear by the end of the episode. Meanwhile, Fua is both a tool of Zaya and of Metsubai Jinrai Net, because not only does he have a chip in his brain, the chip he has in his brain is the fourth member of Metsubai Jinrai Net, which is as being hacked in both directions by Guy and by Jin. So this is Naki is the fourth member, and Jin's like about to kill Fua to recover the chip, so to resurrect the fourth member of the team, when Hirobi stops Jin from killing Fua, and explains once more that it is the will of the Ark that this human remains the host of Naki. The actor playing Naki actually gets to appear, and I hadn't realised they are non-binary and asexual. They describe themselves as in a blog from last year.
I thought you meant in the show.
No, not in the show. But they've clearly cast them because they resemble the actor playing Fua quite a bit, just smaller. So when it keeps on cutting between them, when the personality's changing, they're wearing his clothes, but they wear a little baggier on them, which is a good disconcerting thing to happen, because they're like facially not that similar, but sort of height and haircut similar enough that it just produces this weird uneasy feeling. Yes, exactly.
You just know something is off. You can't go put your finger out just yet, but you know it's wrong.
Yeah, and the voice changes whenever Naki's talking in his body. But yeah, so yeah, he's like, they're gonna kill. Once the thing's taken over, he's Guy tries to get Yaiba to transform into the Jackal Raid form and kill Izu, and that's the thing which makes Fua break his hacking. He's like, no, can't have this. He's fed up with being the tool of everybody, and he basically explains I used to want to kill all Human Gears, but I never thought what I was going to do after all the Human Gears were gone. And so he realizes that was a stupid dream, and he's going to try and find a new dream. And his thing is he's constantly nagging at Yaiba as stop being Guy's tool, try and think for yourself, and I'm not going to stop fighting you until tell me what your dream is, not what Guy's dream is. And then he uses a power-up which we saw being produced last episode in the old Metsubai Jinrai Net base while Guy and Yaiba were there. I don't know whether they didn't see it. I don't know how Fua's got his hands on this power-up, basically. But it basically then pulls him up to the same level as Thousa and 01 in its metal form. And what's it called? Rampage Gatling or something. It's basically he used to have all these different animal power-ups. What if he had all the power-ups at once?
Hit every button.
Yeah, it's a pretty good costume as well. So basically, it's like the 8 animals that the various ones have been using at the start of the series. He's got them all in little motifs down one side of his body. So he's got a wolf shoulder pad, and various ones down his legs and his arms, and then half the helmet has got the colours of the different keys. It's a good costume, and the effects are really good as well. They've clearly got a good CGI rubble and damage effect. So basically, once he's fully powered up, every step he takes crushes the pavement beneath him. And then he gets to kick Thousa's ass, and then we see, after he's kicked his ass and saved Izu, we then see Thousa moving into Aruto's office. He's lost, but he's won, and it looks like next week it's a brand new chapter. So it looks like the problem is people are now disposing of their Human Gears illegally. And it looks like Jin and Aruto are setting up a Human Gear repair shop. They're salvaging Humagears who've been thrown out and bringing them back to life by the looks of things. So, yeah, Guy is victorious in his villainy. And I guess everything in this arc, so all the times we saw what turns out to be the hooded figure was Fua being hacked by Guy to give people the raid belts. So all that stuff with the raid belts looks like it was Guy's plan rather than Jin's. We still don't know who rebuilt Jin yet. That is still a mystery. We don't know how. I don't know how Fua got that power up. We don't know why Hirobi is now protecting Fua all the time, which is a weird flip on where they were at the start of the series. It's good stuff. I saw people complaining they don't like Guy, but I like him as an absolute asshole of a villain at this point. I'm still not sure if he's going to be the final villain, though. I still wonder if some sort of flip's going to happen and Arc itself's plan will be revealed, or whether the father robot that's in one of the movies, so don't have to worry about it. So maybe the grandfather isn't dead after all. I did like the bit where at the end he's saying goodbye to like the two other executives from the company, and they're kind of like they're trying to say he can stay on, but he doesn't want to stay on, and they're like the vice president is like, I'm going to hang on to my job with my very life, and we see him like being very obsequious to Guy in the preview in the next episode. So clearly he's going to be brown nosing, but I wonder if deep down he still has his loyalty to Aruto's grandfather, and he'll come around to being a babyface by the end of it. It was good stuff. I really like this series. One of the better. Well, I'd still say Build's probably the best one of recent years, but yeah, 01's pretty good. Then Kitaro, episode 97. The world you see is not all there is. Can someone else go through this, because I had to? I was interrupted while I was watching it.
Oh well, it's Yokai War 2. It's been down the trenches. It's all kicking off. When we last left the gang, they'd sent Mata into the Land of Unbeing, where Kitaro's spirit is now currently residing, try and get him back out of there. But if you go in there, the cost could be that you will lose your memories of said person by getting them out, which is, again, quite convenient for having our audience relation character just forget their experiences with the supernatural guys. You can reboot it again in a decade or so. Also, you've got to get them out of there.
The way she's talking to Kitaro, she's like talking to like a grey ghost of him, who's like, why even fucking bother? Nothing changes no matter what I do, that kind of thing. And the regular coloured in, him switching to that one coloured in version of Kitaro going like, who are you? Who am I?
It's like the very embodiment of his I guess negative emotions, negative
or
feelings,
doubt or something.
Sort of is keeping him in there in a sense. And you can get where that's coming from too. It's just like, yeah, you work awfully hard to try and maintain this balance, and you put yourself through a lot of grief. So, and you shoulder it really well. You try and remain diplomatic, you try and see both sides of it all the time. But even you probably feel a bit pissed off with things a lot of the time, and you get pissed off as well. But you try and still see the good in it.
Yeah, and Mana's kind of like distraught because it's like it's her best friend Kitaro, and he's kind of lost. He's kind of giving up his memories because it's like not worth it. And she says a line that's something along the lines of, "If you're gonna give up your memories of us and the happy times we had, I'll give you my memories of the happy times we had," which is
you can keep mine.
You can keep mine. That was it. Yeah.
It's sort of like you're focusing on the bad things. Yeah, but there have been plenty of instances where we've actually have this a very wonderful relationship between your guys and humans. It can be done. It's tough and it won't be done overnight. But maybe well, from Kira's point of view and the rest of the game, they've probably been trying to work at this for probably hundreds of years, not getting anywhere with it. But it doesn't mean you should necessarily give up on people either.
That's the thing that allows them to pull out of the portal. Kind of like shoots them out of the portal, and they instantly stop eating Nekomatsumi to feel it. But she's kind of out of it for the rest of it, unfortunately.
But he's back. He's just like Spirit Hair Chanchenko. Summons it to him. Some remote control. Get out. Clock. All right. Back, Beerta. Let's go limbered up here. get a one hand, get a two hand, pull them together, finger gun, blam. Let's laugh full of rip, but
Yeah,
still
it's
not
very
enough.
Dragon Ball, and it's just like, come on, everyone, lend me your
Yes.
strength.
Clap your hands if you
Lend
believe
us
in
your
fairies.
Energy. Lend your energy.
But to be fair, like the rest of the gang do get involved. They're helping out, and freaking Sandwich is like doing all the hacking,
Yeah.
which is great.
She's live streaming Netami Yotoko because she's saying, I got an idea, but this everyone's, we've seen the kind of evil aura rise when people are feeling negative, but we've seen this kind of good aura from people who are like being enthusiastic and giving their courage and spirit to Kiroro. It's like, I can do this. Hack into the big video display there in Shinjuku or wherever, and this fun, this telling people, hey, everybody, stop fighting. This is all fucking stupid. Why you guys concerned about your wars and shit? All this yokai pride, bullshit. Human pride, bullshit. It's all doesn't mean anything. Like war doesn't mean but make you feel hungry and make you all miserable. I would know. I've lived through a few.
Like I like the way his summation of life should be about eating, pooping, and then sleeping, and that's it. None of this war.
Yeah, like it should be as simple as that. While you're all like messing around with this nonsense, somebody is struggling out there all by themselves, and you're not helping the situation at all.
And literally turns camera to Killero. It's like, there you go. This motherfucker's fighting for all of you. You should be supporting him rather than fighting each other for your own stupid pride.
If you've got time for war, use it to cheer on Kitaro.
That's a good message for life, I think. Yeah.
But I like how they do it on a regular. They restate Shigeru Mizuki's like anti-war stance, especially here at the end. This is what the author of the comic was very passionate and keen about, and there's been plenty of examples all throughout even just this series that convey that very well. But it needs to be told, because these messages, I suppose, they aren't prescient or prophetic, but it is sort of tragically ever relevant, and people need to be reminded of them on a regular basis.
They're timeless because you got to stay honest. Mm-hmm. But it's a good enough bit. Everyone feeds in the positive vibes, and that's enough to really blow the fuck out of Blackbeard's gross malformedness. Yeah.
Yeah, we could get a lot of little cameos there if you were paying attention.
I did like that. Yeah.
Yes.
From the preceding 96 episodes of other yokais and characters that have appeared.
I think my favorite was the manga yokai guy, because I was kind of thinking him up in his studio in the cloud. He's fucking self-isolating like a boss right now.
Yeah. But his editor's still out there in the field because he's the best editor. He's, still getting the connections up there, and also feeding his energy into the beam. Even that foreign yokai wouldn't put on any clothes. Comes back at the end to feed in his energy to the cause.
I think the last one they show is like the kid whose father got killed, and she's kind of like, fuck this fighting. It's kind of a load of bullshit. That's the last the straw that broke the Blackbeard's eyeball, I guess. But it's a good bait. It's pretty feel good. It's very stereotype, fucking tropey kind of stuff. But it's when it's done well, that's why they do it so often.
Yeah, I'm curious whether Peter Pan is the first instance of that.
Possibly, but I mean, like that was the initial thing. Was obviously Peter Pan was stage participation.
Yes.
So that makes sense because you have audience participation for a stage show, which makes sense. But it feels like it might be. Unless the other kids' plays had a similar thing.
Yeah, there's maybe a less popular thing, which which faded into the background. And then they try to bring Nurion in to face his crimes, but he blows himself up.
Well, only God can judge me. Like, not even God can judge me. I judge myself.
He basically turns himself into Kitaro, and he's like, "Hey, Kitaro, I'm here. I guess I did all those crimes." And Kitaro's like, "Yeah, I tell you what, you go live the rest of your life atoning for those crimes." And he's like, "Fuck you, I won't do that. I brought one of those explosive eyeballs." He doesn't even see him as crimes. I was doing the right thing. I didn't do any crimes. I did the right thing. Now to blow myself up with that eyeball that I kept in my sleeve that I think most of us have forgotten about.
Yeah, well, I did the right thing, but society says I should be persecuted and should be made to repent for my actions. I say no. Blammo.
What a wanker. Right to the end.
I'm taking my soul and going home.
Yeah. There.
What happens to the...
Bond is definitely and then he's just crying under a tree. Oh, New Arion Sava, I have nothing to do. I'm only a henchman.
What happens to the Prime Minister?
I feel like she turns from like hatred to. Oh well, no, she gets blown the fuck up. No,
oh yeah, they got nuked.
They showed the government building. She goes like, "I fucking hate yokai," and it's exploded by Blackbeard. So she's dead.
Yeah, I just know it take back to snow like, oh, with the power of belief, you bring everybody back to life. No, people are still dead.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people
seas across the globe, they all got hit by space lasers.
I did like we see like some armed troops menacing a yokai, and he gets turned by the YouTube feed of fucking Ratman talking. But like he's about to shoot. It's like, but I just carry tofu. I've committed.
We know. That's why we're gonna shut you up because it's all you say.
Oh, I love that it was him because it's like the most innocent, and it's like, yeah, it's not really a crime to carry.
Oh,
tofu,
yeah, and then he's saved by those idiot brothers and the other kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's when the cascade of cameos start coming.
Yes. Yeah.
We could probably kill one small trying to get away with it, but 4, that'd be a lot hard to cover up. Better back down.
They blow Blackbeard. It all works out well. Kitaro goes over to Mana and is like, "Hey, Mana, thanks for that." And she's like, "Who the fuck are you?" "Oh, Jesus, there's an eyeball in your head." "Whoa, a bunch of monsters. Whoa, what's happening?"
I was going to say, everyone else knows about yokai except her now.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, it's like, "Hey, remember that whole fucking yokai YouTuber?" And she's like, "The what? Like, a year of her life is gone? I mean, like, more since the series has been on, I guess."
Now, don't panic, but an evil eyeball mutated and got filled up with too much power and turned into a bunch of eyeballs, and he started shooting space lasers at the Earth. So most of our world capitals and landmarks have been annihilated. We have no government, and the city is in ruins. Also, ghosts exist, by the way. Like someone waking up of a coma after 10 years and finding out. We had 9/11.
Yeah.
Had a recession, had a climate disaster, another recession, massive virus pandemic. Lot of speed here. Oh, also Netflix. They put House of Cards is pretty good. Oh well, House of Cards is pretty good until there's a reveal about that guy. Anyways, we'll catch up on that later.
Wisely, the cartoon jumps forward in time around this
like
point.
30 years, assuming we're still here in 30 years. Yeah,
10 years.
Very, very positive of you to say, cartoon. Thank you.
It was 10 years.
Sorry, it jumps to 2030. You're right, 10 years.
As much as I want to believe it's 30 years, no, it is the year of our Lord 2020, and it makes that only a decade away.
Yeah, no, it jumps 10 years. Everyone's living a pretty good life. Mana's old and stuff, and she's kind of like,
24.
Like, she's in like in her mid-20s or whatever.
Yeah, but she's shown to be like fully grown old, and I'm just like, yeah, but she's still like. I was thinking that as well. She's like, she's not that fucking old. Dear. But yeah, she's kind of like, she's like got a half remember thing. I think a friend says to her where she's like, "Hey, don't be scared at night." And she said, "Don't worry, I have begins with a K. No, tip of my tongue. It'll come back to me."
Heaven? No.
And she meets Kitaro in the same place she met him at the start of the show. A nice little thing where he's saving her from another monstrous yokai that's going around eating people, because that's what he's been doing forever and will continue to do forever, it seems. And with that, she remembers his name. So it does work out eventually as a happy ending.
Yes.
10 years from now.
And when the series comes back in 10 years' time, you can pretend that they're the same Kitaros, even though no doubt Neko Musume will look even completely different again.
Yeah. She's the one who goes through the most radical change, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Mm.
Even in this series alone, she did.
Oh, that's true, actually, yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty... part of me wishes it ended after a year, but at the same time, a lot of the second-year episodes, which weren't the ongoing stories, I liked more than the first half, because we got into some of the weird body horror stories. Or rather, they did adapted the stories and kept the body horror in this time. It's just I do feel like the overarching stories are perhaps the weakest part, apart from Nanashi. the original.
Yeah,
the
but
first one.
like you said, that's like the first year stuff, and they really had that idea down solid. And then it's like, cool, crank out some more. We got no Dragon Ball,
Yeah,
so keep it going, keep it going,
so
keep it going.
Backbeard, the ending of Backbeard was good, but some of those like the bits where like his henchmen were turning up.
Yeah, I could not stand that Frankenstein dude. It was really irritating.
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes the vampire one, her one worked quite well, but her one was basically like this could have been a standalone episode because it's just about a haunted movie theater kind of thing, you know.
It was more so keeping Adele and her sister and the witches around because they also wanted to bring these characters in, and they could be like a counterpart to Mana in all this.
Mm-hmm.
Similarly, like the four generals, you gotta find these four generals so we can just like put around to search for them.
And then we got this guy from the different anime in the show. He's a real cool guy. He should have his own spin-off series, I guess.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be measured on the strength of those of the the plot episodes. There's so much in between that espouses and gets to a lot of things that Kid Icarus is all about, and there's like very kind of fun, frivolous ones in there about like, wow, what's like trying to go out with a Yuki-onna? It probably is pretty tricky.
Yeah, if it ended in the first year,
on a yokai writing manga, that can't be done, can it? It can be done. But then really like good ones, I think immediately of one like where they go visit one of the islands further south, which is still has remnants and reminders of World War II, and then you think, oh yeah, all of these Kitaro, Nekomusume, and Nezumi Otoko, they're all alive and present and experienced World War II, and probably a lot of other comics besides, and they know all too well the folly and the peril of this, and they'll be rightfully admonishing humanity for falling back into the same old habits and going through the same old cycles all over again. They've seen it how many times over already, and the foolishness of it all, and that's really effective.
And I bought all the comics.
Hey.
So it did its job, yes. No, I still haven't read that last volume. Need to get on that.
If you finish it, it's over, though. You know
that is true. That might be why I've done that consciously before, but I may be doing it subconsciously now.
On the plus side, there will be more Kitaro in the future, but
yeah, that's almost guaranteed.
Would they get a film out of this? Must do, right?
Yeah, I guess they could do. I think they did for the. Did they do it for the 2007 one? I can't be bothered looking now because we've still got.
It would seem something that should be strongly considered. No, if they haven't done it already, I mean, they must be talking about that.
Well, they showed up in Yokai Watch.
Right,
I mean, it's been a pretty, as far as I can tell anyway, popular enough version of Kitaro. Like, could probably get a movie out there just to one last lap before it fully exits from our collective consciousness.
It's been replaced by Digimon Adventure : which I can't quite tell there's a reboot or a remake or what its deal is, but
it's a remake of the first series of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, because it is playing on nostalgia for that older series as well. So it's like a remake, shinier and newer.
Meanwhile, we've got one more thing to talk about, and that's One Piece episode 926, A Desperate Situation, Orochi's menacing Oniwabanshu, in which Robin is cornered by ninjas.
With all the dinosaur fighting, I nearly forgot about that. That was pretty fun because what's your man's like? He gives her one opportunity to explain herself, and then he'll kill her quickly and painlessly.
Yes, if she
What a
tells the
great
truth.
deal.
Yes, but as she lies about being Witching Hour Boy, it's very annoying that some of the names they use in the subtitles aren't the same as are used in the Viz translation.
I saw people giving out about that with the where she says, "Good thing I use shadow clone jutsu," and it's like, I don't think that's what she said, lads. I think she says like flower clone or something.
Yeah. So, and then meanwhile, more ninja antics elsewhere as Kiku is overseeing Tama and Chopper training to be ninjas, while Momo is continually swinging a sword so he can become a samurai. And something nearby drifts ashore. A very large woman. Who knew people could even get that large?
Not quite as big as a giant, but is very, very big.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because Momo's seen a giant. Obviously, Chopper's seen a giant. But I guess people on Wano have never seen giants because it's been closed up for so many centuries.
But to be fair, like one of the women there is like twice as tall as a normal person, and this woman is way bigger than her. Yeah. It also causes the shock of it causes Chopper to give up his Hippocratic oath on the spot, which I thought was really funny.
It's the whole world, Chopper. Come on.
Yeah, we get Toko makes an appearance. And after Robin escapes the ninjas when they start trying to torture her, but it's not really her; it's a double. She goes back into the banquet and starts chatting up Orochi, while Brook has to send his spirit out of the well that he's hiding in. Also, Shinobu and Nami lose contact with Robin.
Yeah, she has to hide in plain sight, so she can't stay on the snail phone to them. So
Yes.
they send Brook out to look for her.
I do like the stealth snail phones.
That they're wrapped up in a little thing, yeah.
Where they're like the long shelled mollusks are that you get at sea. But
Yeah, I can't think of the name, but no.
no. I don't think I've ever seen them in real life. I've seen their shells plenty of times, but was that it? There was nothing more with Sober Mask or there was like a dream. Oh, there was like a dream of Big Mom confronting Luffy.
Oh, she's getting sucked into the whirlpool, but
Yes.
as we find out, and Chopper doesn't manage to slit her throat in her sleep. She's forgotten the whole thing, including who she is.
Yep.
We also see Big Mom's crew. They all survived. The boat's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah,
Which I was just like, you're just gonna
Thank
go
goodness
like that.
they're okay.
I guess.
Well, I'm sure by the end of
Brooks
this,
survived.
we'll probably be saying thank goodness they were okay, because I'm sure that a bunch of them will flip at some point.
It'd be really easier to defeat Kaido's army if he's also fighting Big Mom at the same time. If it's like a three-way big giant fight.
But really, I feel like Big Mom's crew are like a smorgasbord for Blackbeard when he shows up. So many devil fruit available for him.
Oh, and they are literally food.
Perfect thing to complement the darkness fruit and the quake fruit. I go with that biscuit fruit. Can turn things into biscuits. Be amazing.
Well done, biscuits. Ah, dear. Yeah.
This was good. It's also a good looking episode, I thought, as well. Particularly like the stuff with Chopper and Tama.
Yeah, it's clear they were having fun, like drawing out a lot of the stuff that took place a lot much shorter time in the comic. Like, because you have all the ninjas, they all get to do their little cool things, and Robin gets to do like flips around it. You get more chatting between her and Orochi, and her kind of doing spy work, which is kind of fun. You know, everyone gets to do a little more than they did in the comic. So it not much happened, but it kind of like drew it out in a satisfying way, weirdly.
Yeah, I do like Jigoku Benton's hidden gun. Biwa is a machine gun. It was, quite. I can't remember if she did that. I don't think she did that here in the comic. From looking at her description, apparently it was first used against Zorro. Despite being called a ninja art, nothing indicates that the technique requires any special abilities aside from the weapon itself. Well, I guess it makes sense that they'd have gunpowder. So,
Well, they're arms dealers, so yeah.
that is true.
We also get Ghost freaking out some ninjas on what are those giant fish eel things? They're just riding them around inside the mansion.
Yeah, it's Fujin and Raijin, isn't it? Are the ones he spooks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think apparently not everybody has names yet, but I'm sure they will once everybody's picking people to fight in upcoming chapters of the comic. Form an orderly queue. There's thousands on each side.
It just gives them more fights to draw out the show with, which is fine.
That is true, yes. But I was like, I forget there's like 11 of these guys. I was like, oh, God damn it. There's 11 of these guys.
There's Big Mom's guys.
Big Mom's guys.
All of her kids except for one, I think, yeah.
Yeah, there's...
Or actually, no, 3, I guess, technically. Yeah.
King, Queen, and Jack. There's the headliners.
You got Drake, obviously, there. Whose side he's on, he didn't fucking know. You got the Straw Hat Alliance and the 7 lads and all the different armies. There's a lot of motherfuckers. There's a lot of pieces in play in this.
You've got all of Kid's crew, you've got all of Law's crew, presumably all the crews of the people who of the supernovas who have aligned themselves, presumably temporarily, to Kaido, because surely Kaido should have learned by now that you should not be trusting any of the worst generation. They will turn on you as soon as they have the opportunity to. But I guess that's the point of Kaido, is that he's a big old drunk and probably too powerful for his own good, that he is going to be complacent in the end. I hadn't realised that Hanzo's mask looks like he's got it on upside down, or his face is on upside down.
I assume that's so when he does like a ninja roof crawl or something, it'll be the right way up or something like that.
Yeah.
I like as well. He's a ninja, but he's also the most unsubtle ninja, similar to Raizo. As subtle as you can get in One Piece, anyway.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it for this episode. I enjoyed it. So far, coming back to it, there's not been an episode yet which has felt like some of those episodes where we stopped watching, where the episodes were dragged out by having Zoro fight umpteen no-name jobbers. I'd much rather have it filled out by having a couple of kids. I guess Chopper's still a kid. Being ninjas.
Is Chopper even 10 years old now?
He was 15 when they met him, so he's 17 now.
Oh, he was 15. Sorry, I thought he was younger. My bad.
No, he's still a teenager.
Okay.
I don't know how many that is in reindeer years.
I don't know how many years reindeer live, so yeah.
5 months.
Next week, a whole bunch of new stuff was airing. Annoyingly, most of the stuff I want to watch appears to be airing on Funimation.
Oh my god.
Going through and watch it. It was like 3 hours a week became 9 hours a week.
Fingers crossed tomorrow it might be Machiri Wanko. Instead of cats piling on top of each other, it will now be dogs piling on top of each other.
Also good.
Trying to think what else might catch my eye. Listeners is on Funimation. That's on... when is that on? That is on Friday, as is Wave Listen to Me, also on Funimation. My Roomie is a Dino. That is on Saturday, and that is also on Funimation. And the other thing I've got my eye on for next week, I think, is Sunday, more Seriously Unserious Incredible Zorori, which does not currently have anybody claiming it, unless that's happened over the past hour, as the My Roomie is a Dino was, or Gallon Dinosaur, or whatever they're going to be calling it. Fingers crossed that they might have like a Pop Team Epic type deal where it appears on everybody's streaming service.
Yeah, okay.
But we will see, because I mean, that Funimation, apparently Funimation are calling it Gallon Dino. There you go.
Okay.
Not My Roomie as a Dinosaur. Because that Funimation service is terrible. So frustrating using that app on the PS4. Might be the worst one I've ever used. I'm trying to think if there's a worse streaming service I've used.
And there's some pretty nasty ones out there.
I was going to say, at least with Whack Anim, I've still got the files because I paid for them and downloaded the. It was actually by the episodes.
What about Viewster?
Viewster, I didn't have too much trouble with Viewster.
In my experience.
Yeah. I mean, guess maybe if High Dive did have a PS4 app, it would be as crap as the Funimation one.
Well, I can ask somebody who has an Xbox and see how they feel about it.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, I guess what I'm saving on petrol, I can give to Funimation. Just have to look at it that way. Anything catching your eye that you might want to check out next week?
Check out for next week. Well, besides things as mentioned, even though I struggled through them. What is that next week? Gosh, I didn't know there'd be homework involved here.
Well,
additional homework to the one that I did, homework I already do.
Trying to think, there's Tower of God. That's the big thing that Crunchyroll are pushing at the moment, isn't it? Based on that Korean webcomic.
There was something. Let's see.
Sakura Wars. The new Yu-Gi-Oh.
I'd have a look at the Sakura Wars. Just because, again, you got Tite Kubo. He's back on the scene. He's publishing new things, doing designs for this new Sakura Wars version. Getting more anime made of his comics. I'll give it a look and see. I was never. I've only ever kind of known what Sakura was via osmosis. So
yeah, same. I was never playing the games or anything back in the day.
Yeah, I think I saw some of the OVAs about 20 years ago. At a convention.
It's robots, right? It's giant robots?
It's more like steampunk bubblegum crisis.
I
mean, that's a good pitch, Brian. Well done.
Enough games about it. So a lot of folks thought the same. Fruits Basket is back in again.
It is.
Oh shit, that's right. I thought that was in the summer. Yeah.
Almost a Crunchy-mation. I mean Crunchyroll.
Yeah. I think that'll be the following week. That's the Monday the following week.
Okay.
So it'll be 2 weeks today. No, a week today, rather.
Well, that's more a likely lock, so it'll give us a chance to check out some things that we mightn't hang on to.
Yeah.
Where is this Kikuchi Goto going to? I think folks who are into the comic have been talking this up lately. It's the Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei creator as well, and it's about like now stop you've heard from before, but I think this is a little bit different. There's a guy who draws like a absolutely heinous manga full of I don't know, God knows what. But he tries to hide his work from his daughter. So I guess he's some kind of trying to work at home, drawing or writing, God knows what, and then you bust in going, "Dad, what you doing? Nothing." Drawing a very wholesome comic about sunshine and rabbits, not about assassins who can hypnotize you and get into your brain and make you forget things. No. So that could be humorous.
I mean, if that thing about car people shows up, I will probably watch that because I do quite like the design, even though it's clearly aimed at like 4-year-olds. There's that art. Is it art or arte about the aristocratic woman wanting to be an artist in 16th century Florence?
I did not know anything about that.
Never
heard of it.
That is on. That airs on the 4th, so that is a Saturday.
Yeah, and seeing some No Guns Life has snuck in here as well. But
Yeah, that's back.
My notice.
Okay.
I meant to get back to that because I heard that it touches on some pretty interesting subjects beyond where I've been watching it. I miss good in it, so I always liked the style of it, but it always came across me as something I probably prefer to read, besides what they're doing in the TV series. But it's coming out fast. I've only got one volume of it I can get to so far, so she's good to go.
Yeah, I quite liked it, but visually it wasn't very exciting. I think more like the world design and the backgrounds. It was all a bit grey.
Yeah, even the covers of some of the comics here to go for like get that sort of like neon pink lettering, and it's very much leading into it's like a more like kind of a pulpy detective thing, and replaying that up. Whereas if we look at kind of at the key art then for the TV series, yeah, it's just blues and greys and blacks.
That's unfortunate.
And the guy, he's got a gun for a head, but he's also like panels and bits of that where he's being very silly. He's got a kind of a cute face on his gun head.
There's like a chibi gun.
Yeah.
Okay.
A Derringer, they call it. You know.
Yes, I guess unless things change in the next few days, I guess I'll be picking up a Funimation subscription again. April the 3rd, so that means that's the Friday. So it can hold off till they've got Friday till announce some of these things on other places.
Yeah.
Because that Listeners does look really good. Wave, listen to me. Not so sure now because it's Blade of Immortal writer, but obviously different studio. Sunrise doing this one. But yeah, if I can't watch My Roomie as a Dino or Gal and Dino or whatever it's being called anywhere but Funimation, that's that. They've got my money if they do that. Curses, Funimation, you win again, at least for 3 weeks until I get sick of your app.
Or probably a lot less than that, you'll be stuck indoors at it for a certain period of time.
That's
familiarity breeds contempt.
Well, if I get it, I can then watch my Concrete Revolutio. It'd be easier if I just put the Blu-ray in than watch the digital version, which I had to leap through some hoops to get working. I wouldn't be able to watch it on the app anyway.
You'd have to get up.
I'd have to use the VPN to do it. Because I had to use the VPN to claim it, because it's obviously... This isn't available to people in your region. Okay, now is it available? It is now. Okay.
Really? Because I'm holding the box in my hand, fucker.
I wasn't supposed to have it, but I got it.
Yeah.
Righty-ho, we'll be back next week with the new stuff and a few of the old... What have we got left to watch of the old stuff?
What is left?
Pet, Super Shiro, My Hero Academia.
My Academia.
And One Piece. And the Toku stuff that I watch. And you can you can fill us in on 2 more Pretty Cures as well. I
will do that, because there's a big hole blown in my Sunday afternoon viewing. Now there's no Kitaro in there anymore. It's like I don't know what to do anymore. All of the support things, like the world's been upended, stuck indoors for months on end, and now I've got no Kitaro as well. Everything I had to kind of keep myself on the straight and narrow was being torn away from me. How do I exist in this scary new world?
I know there was 90 or so episodes of Kitaro, but now I had time. I had time now.
No.
If only there was more Kitaro you could watch.
Yeah, that was just made the one series out of it. Yeah.
Better hop on the Phantom train and go back to the past so I can see it all over again.
Rightio, we'll be back next week. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye now.
Right, let's stop the stream first.